Tiger Woods didn't just change golf. He redefined greatness. 15 major championships. Countless records shattered at a cultural earthquake in cleats. His Sunday red became more than a color. It became a symbol, a warning to opponents, a banner of dominance, a legend built one swing at a time. For decades, Tiger wasn't just a golfer, he was golfed at a story of glory, pain, redemption, and relentless pursuit. But while the world was watching him, someone else was watching closer. Not a rival, not a fan, his son, Charlie Woods. And with every roar that echoed through Augusta, through St. Andrews, through history itself, a different kind of pressure began to grow. The pressure of a name, that of expectation, of destiny. Because when you're born a Woods, the spotlight isn't earned, it's inherited. Charlie didn't ask for fame, it was waiting for him. Before his first words, before his first swing, from the very start, the world didn't see Charlie Woods, they saw Tiger's son. The matching outfits, the mirrored swing, the same calm stare that could silence a crowd. Every gesture felt like déjà vu, as if greatness itself was genetic. But behind the comparisons, behind the headlines, a question has always lingered: can Charlie Woods ever step out of the shadow and into his own light? The synchronized walk up the fairway, it went viral. It was mesmerizing. 2 silhouettes moving as one, but it wasn't fair. Because no matter how well Charlie played, the applause wasn't always his. It was an echo from galleries of the past. Tiger's past. And echoes, no matter how loud, can't replace your own voice. The pressure wasn't shouted from the crowds, it whispered from everywhere else. Fans cheered, cameras followed. Analysts murmured, could he be next? But inside that whirlwind, something rare began to take shape. Team. According to People magazine, after their runner-up finish at the PNC Championship, Tiger and Charlie shared a quiet hug with Ella Nordegren, Tiger's ex-wife. Charlie's MOM.NO entourage, NO stage photos. Just a family, navigating something monumental with quiet grace. Because before there was competition, there was connection. And that's a foundation no headline can fake. Charlie's story didn't begin on a leaderboard. It began in the shadow of history. But sometimes, the most powerful stories don't start in the spotlight, they start just outside the ropes. Waiting didn't happen under lights. It happened in silence, between heartbeats, where legacy meets love. There were no roaring crowds, no flashing cameras, just the Florida air, quiet galleries, and the slow churn of something historic in the making. It was May 2025 Streamsong Resort, the AJGA Team Tailor-Made Invitational. Charlie Woods stepped onto the tee, ranked 604th in junior golf. Not even a dark horse, barely a name on the board. The field was stacked with national champions, elite recruits, future NCAA stars. On paper, he was just another entry. But the leaderboard doesn't read potential. It records proof. And what Charlie was about to deliver wasn't a whisper, it was a message. 3 rounds later, the golf world was on alert. 15 under par, at a closing round of 66, 8 birdies. Zero fear, no luck, no collapse from the field. Just precision under pressure. He didn't win by surviving, he won by dismantling. He beat 4 of the top 5 ranked juniors in the nation, including the undisputed number 1, Miles Russell. And he didn't edge him out, he cleared the field by 3 strokes. Quiet confidence had become calculated dominance. The story had changed, and this time Charlie was writing it himself. The headlines came fast, but not the kind he was used to. Golf Monthly, Times of India. ESPN, Golf Digest. They all picked up the story, but not because of a viral clip or a Tiger cameo. There were no split-screen swing comparisons this time. No echoes of like father, like son. This time, the coverage was about Charlie's game, his control, his composure, his finish. For the first time, the world wasn't watching because he was Tiger's son. They were watching because he was that good. In junior golf, respect isn't handed out, it's taken. Charlie Woods didn't just win a tournament, he changed his status. The kid from the background was now front and center. The name that once carried expectations had now earned weight. And for the first time, when people said Woods, they weren't looking backward, they were looking ahead. Tiger Woods has always been known for control of his swing, his body, his schedule, his image. But when it came to his son, he made a move no one expected. In a quiet revelation reported by AS.com, Tiger shared one simple piece of advice, a message that would echo across the golf world. Don't watch me, watch Rory. A sentence, a surrender, a shift. Because when the greatest golfer of a generation tells his son to learn from someone else, it's more than advice, it's revelation. Tiger wasn't just stepping aside as a swing model. He was dismantling his own myth for the sake of his son's growth. He wasn't saying, be like Mayhay was saying. Be better, on your own terms. That's what made this moment so powerful. Most parents want to pass down their best parts. Tiger, instead, chose to get out of the way. Rory McIlroy, a friend, a peer, and in Tiger's own words, one of the purest swings in the game, became the blueprint. Not the father, not the icon. And in that decision, Tiger revealed his greatest act of leadership. Letting go. It wasn't a coaching tip. It was something deeper, a quiet form of permission. You don't need to follow me to find yourself. In an age where celebrity athletes obsess over building dynasties in their image, Tiger chose the opposite. He didn't just want Charlie to succeed. He wanted him to own that success. Without comparison. Without pressure. That's not control. That's courage. And in that moment, everything shifted. It wasn't father and prodigy anymore. It was mentor and student. Not a shadowed path, but two parallel journeys. Because sometimes the strongest bond isn't forged through imitation but through independence. There's a difference between playing well and playing with weight, between showing flashes of talent and carrying expectation like armor. Charlie Woods wasn't walking like someone hoping to belong. He walked like someone who already knew he did. The posture had changed. The interviews were fewer. The noise didn't matter anymore, because the work had started to speak for itself. And suddenly, Tiger's son started to sound like an outdated title. Because Charlie wasn't inheriting greatness anymore, he was chasing it down. The numbers told the story. According to the Times of India, Charlie's dominant win vaulted him from number 64 to number 14 in the AGA standings, one of the largest single jumps in recent history. He didn't sneak into the conversation. He kicked the door open. A shift like that isn't built on momentum or hype. It's earned, shot by shot, round by round. And with that surge, Charlie became something else entirely, not the heir. The hunter. The New York Post didn't mince words. This wasn't survival, it was domination. Charlie didn't ride a hot streak. He didn't catch lucky bounces or scrape past competitors. He dismantled a stacked field headlined by the nation's best juniors. And when it was over, no theatrics, no roar, no victory dance. Just a handshake, a calm walk to the scorer's tent, and silence. The kind of silence that only follows something definitive. Because when you've earned the room's respect, you don't need to raise your voice. But perhaps the most telling sign wasn't in the rankings or the headlines. It was in the locker room. Other juniors stopped whispering. They started watching. He wasn't the Woods kid anymore. He was a legitimate threat, at a benchmark, the name circled on pairing sheets. And respect from your peers. That's the rarest trophy of all. It didn't happen on a major Sunday. There was no roar from Augusta, and no green jacket waiting behind the 18th. But at the Florida Amateur Championship, something bigger, something quieter was happening, and Tiger Woods was there to see it, not on crutches, not in a broadcast booth, not behind a press tent, just sitting, just watching. After weeks out of the spotlight, recovering from a torn Achilles, as Golf Monthly reported, Tiger reappeared, not to compete, but to witness, and sometimes, presence says more than performance ever could. Observers noticed right away he wasn't coaching no trackman, no notes, no swing tips from behind the rope line. Instead, Tiger leaned forward slightly in his cart, arms resting on his knees, eyes locked on Charlie, with a look that was anything but casual. According to the New York Post, he didn't say much. He didn't have to. Every shot, every pause, every stride Charlie took, Tiger followed, not with the coach's analysis, but with something far more rare, reverence. And then came the moment no one would forget. Late in the round, Charlie sank a slippery birdie putt on 18. Tiger didn't clap. He didn't shout. He just smiled, a small, quiet smile that said everything. No celebration, no fist pump, just a nod. But outside the ropes, the lens caught what mattered most. Tiger Woods, head tilted, sunglasses off, biting the inside of his cheek, a single tear visible beneath his EY. It wasn't about the score. It wasn't about the stakes. It was about watching someone you love become who they're meant to be. And when legacy watches itself evolve in real time, emotion becomes the only language left. As the gallery clapped, Tiger stood. Not to wave, Not to be seen, but because he had. Two, because something had just shifted. He didn't build this moment, he didn't drive it, he simply witnessed it. And for a man who spent his life defining greatness this time, greatness looked back at him and smiled at some point. Every great story asks the same question. Is this a continuation, or a beginning for Charlie Woods? That moment is now. For years, the world asked whether he would follow in Tiger's footsteps. But maybe we've been asking the wrong thing all along, because what we're watching isn't a boy tracing a path, that it's a player cutting his own. The fairway ahead isn't Tiger's, that it's Charlie's, and the more he walks it, the less it looks like a shadow and the more it looks like a sunrise. Later this year, Charlie will compete in the Junior Players Championship at TPC Sawgrass, one of the most elite events in junior golf, the same course where Tiger Woods once won the Players Championship twice. But this won't be about walking the same ground, it'll be about proving he can shape. Sawgrass doesn't care about names, it demands precision, nerve, and strategy. And Charlie isn't just bringing hype, he's bringing form. This is a nostalgia that it's escalation, and suddenly, Tiger's once shocking quote lands differently. Don't watch me. Watch Rory. It wasn't about humility, that it was about vision. Tiger didn't want Charlie to mirror his legacy, wanted him to move beyond it. To build something freer, cleaner, less burdened, not a clone. Not a sequel, a new force entirely. Because when the sun stops echoing and starts roaring, that's not lineage, that's transformation. This journey began with questions. Could he handle the pressure? Could he escape the name? Could he matter without the myth? And with each swing, Charlie has answered them, not loudly but convincingly, that he's no longer the kid beside Tiger. He's Charlie Woods, and the story has only just begun.